The cloud. Morning, morning, morning. We're doing our essential emotions discussion. And I'm Kim. We've been doing this a little while. We have a new gal here on, so I'll just explain kind of how our group norms are. So generally we have a topic, and this is a safe space where we can share how we're feeling. We can ask for feedback, or we can say, I'd like you to just listen. And this practice, it takes time to integrate that back into your regular life. But here we get to use that nonviolent communication so that when we go and communicate with our family and friends, say, I would love you to just listen. Then it helps them be a better listener for you, because most people are not really listening. They're thinking of what they're going to say next. They're thinking of the solution to your problem, and you may not want a solution at this time. You may want to just have someone listen. So I really love that practice. And I also love when I start asking my family or friends, do you have emotional space to listen? And that helps them remember, like, oh, next time when I need to vent, I'm not just going to launch straight into it. Or you could, or if you think they need a little more guidance, you can say, I just love this idea that you can ask me if I have emotional space to listen. And I might say no, but I might say yes. And it will help us keep from having resentment, because we want our relationship to be healthy. So we're building healthy relationships, and we're committed to healthy love. In this safe space, we can practice those tools. So, and we use essential oils, of course, and we just bring in whatever's going on in our life right now. So I'll start. I am working on a big life change in my life. I've been in an unhealthy relationship for a while. I have lots of good parts to my relationship and lots of bad parts, and noticing my addiction to the good parts and what kept me from making changes. I'm noticing that when my life calms down, I think my muscle memory or the chemistry in my brain is looking for hits of cortisol. Like, where's the drive? Where's the thing that's gonna keep me occupied today? What's gonna keep me busy? What stressful situation will keep me busy? And so I'm just kind of trying to step back and notice what my brain chemistry and what my body is doing. Because that's not the real me. The real me is deeper inside, obviously. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not my ego. I'm not my physical body. The part of me that never changes is deep inside. So all these things happening around me, maybe, my relationship with my husband ending, my job might change, where I hold my self-esteem, my self-worth, as a wife. I might be aging, my body might be changing, but those things, that's not the real me. The real me never changes. So holding on to that and kind of stepping back, like I said. So it's an interesting topic. I've talked about addiction to stress with other people, and where we talk about, like, well, I mean, there's a couple different ways to look at this. Like, you'll notice in a lot of cultural things, especially in the US, and I think probably other places, that women connect through negative situations. That, oh, I have so much to do today, or oh, it's Monday. And you're like, yeah, it's Monday. And I'm like, I kind of don't want to participate in that kind of lifestyle of like connecting by negative situations, but I know that molecularly, my body does still. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there as a topic. And what the oils I'm noticing for myself today that are like really lighting me up and helping and supporting me is lime, tea tree, and peppermint. I pick those babies up. Lime is specifically for working through anger. And I need that anger right now because it's for my self-esteem and it's for helping me to set boundaries and communicate what I need. So no emotions on the spectrum, all 17 of them are negative. They all serve a purpose. They all bring a message for action steps in our life. So lime is really helping me out. And tea tree is for cutting off codependent behavior, which I certainly have been living with because I love to depend on people. And when they don't do the things that they do anymore, or I need to change, like I got to pick myself up and do it. So here's the tea tree. I'm going to put that all over my chest. And I don't want to put lime on because I'm going to be out in the pool later. Lime is photosensitive, but I do have it running in all the diffusers in my house. And then the peppermint. If you guys have this Essential Emotions book handy, or if you've got the app on your phone, you can look up, use your nose. Well, some people can't use their nose because they can't smell, but you can just look up which oils are going to chemically support balancing your brain chemistry. And you're like, oh yeah, for sure that one, for sure that one. And then you'll get a sense of how to do this for yourself. So anyway, but I'm open for feedback and I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. So I'll open up the floor.
Hi, Kim. I appreciate you sharing the vulnerability and everything. I wanted to read a couple of things. Like every Monday, I get a little brief excerpt from the Monk Manual. Have you ever heard of the Monk Manual system?
No.
The Monk Manual system, I love it because a lot of times when people are dealing with goals and success and write your 10 goals and do all this stuff, I never really relate to that. But the Monk Manual is a system where they teach you about being productive and everything, but it's from like a monk. So you know how productive monks are? So it uses that philosophy, and they have tons of free resources. Like, for example, they have an exercise called like doing goals versus being goals. And you write them down and you come up with your life purpose, but it just really resonates with me because it's almost the opposite of the way this world says you need to be successful. So in you speaking about, you know, the addiction to the good times and all that good stuff, and I'm the same way, and I didn't realize it until, but honestly, I fired everyone, Kim. I fired my therapist. I fired everyone. And it's just me and the Most High right now because I found that having this person and having this person and having this support, having this boyfriend, it wasn't really serving me. Like all my memberships, and I just cut everything off. And I'm like, well, this is the real Shannon. Like these are my real feelings. And so I wanted to read from the Monk Manual the last 2 Mondays. It says, the benefit of doing nothing is the realization that there is value in doing nothing. We are so used to constantly moving that we can forget that life, apart from any external variable, has value in its very existence. This week, take 10 minutes to do nothing. Don't meditate. Don't read a book. Just sit down, look out a window, and take note of what it feels like to be alive. Notice that somehow, almost by some sort of miracle, you are here. So the Monk Manual for today is follow effective action with quiet reflection. From the quiet reflection will come even more effective action. Peter Drucker. The irony is we accomplish far more of the most important things, not by speeding up, but by slowing down. This week, are there areas of your life where you've drifted into autopilot? Take 5 minutes to look through your current goals and life priorities. Do they still align with what's most important to you? So my oil during this time has been lemon eucalyptus. Normally Purify is my cleansing oil, but in moving to a new space in somebody else's house, I've been doing my frankincense and myrrh, like the pure resin, the incense, and then I've been diffusing lemon eucalyptus in all the rooms. I just appreciate being here. This group has been so supportive during my journey. Even with the codependency, I consistently been attending my virtual meetings. And I'm just realizing that, I'm just realizing that I've just been teaching people like how to treat me and all that. And I'm just taking a step back and I'm really looking at, I don't like that. And what I'm finding is that 99% of the people in my life, they don't know how to handle this Shannon that isn't codependent. And so I'm kind of going through a phase of purging a lot of people out of my life. So it's great that I'm in a new city, because now I can just start over. And the people that are going to know me now, they never have to know that other Shannon, so that's kind of my feedback. And I'm just glad to be here today.
I'm so happy for you, Shannon.
Thank you, Kim.
One thing I do like to do is when we share, and you can do it or not, is I like to take a breath for my friends. So let's all take a breath for Shannon. Thank you for sharing your life with us.
Thank you.
Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Hi. I don't think I've joined this group before, but thank you for creating a safe place for us to share and listen and participate. I really resonate with you and I appreciate your vulnerability, and it just shows what a power woman you are. That it takes a lot of courage to do what you do. And, I could say for myself, I don't think, I think I've lacked that many times. It's not easy to go through this road. But today, I think what works for me is being grateful, saying thank you for whatever I have. Earlier, I was just like, thank you that I get to clean my house, instead of like the have tos, it's like we get to, just changing that perspective. And that's what worked for me this morning. Just saying thank you for everything. But I wanted to ask you about the oils that you shared. Are there any affirmations that go with those, or is it just the intention of, clearing?
There is affirmations.
In the emotions book?
There is, but I saved one from a CODA meeting the other night. I'm going to pull it up. I'm glad you mentioned that because I started reading them and I was like, holy moly. I was like,
I feel like that just, it's a conjunction, like it works faster, I would say, like it helps release instead of just inhaling it. And it's like, well, where's it going? Where's that emotion going?
Well, I was moving kind of fast this morning because I was doing diffusers and getting ready for this. So I'm glad that the monk, Shannon brought the monk energy and you're like, Kim, you're missing a step. I'm like, oh yeah, there is. I'm glad you guys said that. So I'll show you real fast how you would do it with the Essential Emotions book. You would follow the feeling. So this morning, why did I choose the lime? I guess I was feeling a little bit angry about my situation. So I think that's why the lime called to me. So I'm just gonna look in the back, in the emotions section at anger. So you start with the feeling and then it leads you to the affirmation. Hey, there. Okay, so it says, let's see. This is the affirmation for anger. I now have permission to recognize and validate my feelings. I now trust that all things are working together for my greatest good. And then the visual that it has is see yourself exchange anger for forgiveness and light. Consider physical movement to release your pent-up energy, which was just my next suggestion. So I would take my oil, I would have my affirmation, which is, I now have permission to recognize and validate my feelings. I would take my oil. So your emotions generally are trapped in your hips. I'm going to let this other person in. I'm going to put a drop in my hands. I'm going to rub my hands together for a few minutes, because when you rub your hands together, it draws your energy back to your body so that you're back in the present. I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future. My feet are solid on the ground. I'm here. It's Monday morning, August 29th, 2022. And then I will take 4 deep breaths. So I talked about the hips. So I would just, work on, I'm going to circle my hips as I'm standing here while I'm breathing. Here, I don't have myself on pin spotlight. So I did my breathing. I'm circling the hips. It's all in the hips. Thinking Happy Gilmore. Where the golf pro guy is like teaching him how to swing and he's like holding his hips. Sorry, I'm silly. So that would be my process. And then I would want to journal. So for me, if I'm busy, I just open the notes on my phone and I just write in what it is I'm feeling. So our feelings are energy, and energy is not created or destroyed. The second law of thermodynamics. So it needs to move. That's why we need to do our breathing. That's why we need to do the movements and walking, and journaling takes those circle of thoughts that keep happening in the background, the white noise in the back of our brain, and it shifts that energy onto paper. So that's how we can healthfully process our emotions. An amazing tool that I found. I think Lisa is on the call. Yes, she is. She told me about this woman, Carla McClellan, and I've shared this several times on our meetings, but there's a couple of new people. Her book is called The Language of Emotions, and she's got lots of free tools and worksheets on her website. But that's where she talks about the spectrum, the 17 emotions, and how none of them are negative, and what they all mean. And I bought her like laminated version of the emotions. So I feel like this is very supportive to me, that when I'm feeling something, generally what I would do in the past is if I felt anything that I felt was on the spectrum of negative emotion, I would immediately feel ashamed and stuff the emotion. Why should I be angry at that person? They're a good person. They had a hard childhood. I will make excuses after excuses for the people in my life that have bad behavior. And it doesn't mean that I have to accept their bad behavior. And I don't have to like it. And I can still feel my feelings and let those move through me. So it's healthy for me, and I'm not going to stuff it. So let's see. What's a good one that we were just talking about? I'll say for confusion, the mask for fear and anxiety. Diffused awareness, innocence, obliviousness, malleability, taking a time out. What is my intention? What action should be taken? Honor this time out and stop looking outside yourself for answers. It takes time to simply be. When you're ready, ask your internal questions. That's the what is my intention? What action should be taken? They'll restore your instincts. When you know your intentions, you'll be able to ground yourself and find your own authentic ideas, intentions, and answers. Intention ends all ambiguity. So I love sharing my the tools that I find. Not everybody knows where to look until you have somebody say, hey, have you heard of this? And you're like, no, I didn't know. Yes, give them all to me. So that's what I like to do. And I think it's part of my purpose and gift for being on this earth is being curious about the work that's being done to heal ourselves. And then the only way for me to actually implement those tools is to teach it to others. So yeah, that's a long answer. But I'd love to hear how other people on the call are doing, and I can offer advice or we can just listen.
Do you take another breath?
Oh yes, let's take a breath for Letty.
I want to share. It was a roller coaster ride of emotions this weekend, and to stay centered and put your arms up in the air on the roller coaster of emotions, and either scream real loud or find a pillow or something like that, because the sensations of emotions, especially if they're coming at you quickly, because you can go from happy and sad to rageful and vindictive very quickly. It's always surprising if you just stay centered in that seat and keep that bar up close to your chest and just remember, it's there to keep you from flying out. um, and there's a lot of people that will never, ever, ever, today or tomorrow, maybe not later, understand that there is this multitude of emotion that taps into our psyche and our ego and our consciousness. And I can't say enough about understanding what are you feeling, because it's your feeling, it's not somebody else's feeling. And that's a really important thing to stay grounded in. Are you feeling worthless? Are you feeling like nobody hears you, or the person that you're talking with doesn't hear you? Those are so important to actually get a clear bead on. Anyway, that was my
Thank you for sharing, Lisa. So let's take a breath for Lisa. So ground and breathe, breath in. Yeah.
I have a question for Shannon. Can you write down the name of the book that you're using? Because I barely heard the name of it.
It's interesting. I put it in the chat, the monk
Okay.
manual, and it's actually more of a daily planner type thing. But I put the resources in the chat as far as like the different exercises you can do. For example, one exercise, of course, we've all done this, but another exercise is, it says, act like you took your last breath. Like, oh my gosh, you're totally going, you took your last breath. and then act like all of a sudden you got it back, what's the first thing you would do? You know, and it lets you go through an exercise, and then you kind of look at the things you do, and then you look at like what would you have done if you knew this was your last day and things. And I just love it, you know. So the resources are in the chat.
Thank you, Shannon.
You are welcome.
So I was thinking I could share that affirmations thing that I found the other day in a CODA meeting. So let me share my screen and I will find that for you guys. Up in my files. Where did I save it? Affirmations. Just did it. Oh, okay. August 26th. Open. Let me stop share and then share again to make sure you guys can see it. It's kind of small. Can you see it where it says positive affirmations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started reading them all at once. There's a lot of things in there. So I can definitely share this document with you guys here. I'll just copy it right here. Copy. And I'll put it in the chat for you to print. Paste. Hopefully that works.
Kim, what is CODA?
CODA is Codependence Anonymous. And it's like a fellowship, kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, but Codependence Anonymous is meant for men and women who have had patterns and characteristics that have kept them from being their true self and loving themselves. It's basically childhood trauma that we've recreated in our adult relationships. So then we're just looking to change those so that we feel happier and healthier and free. Many of the patterns and characteristics we recognize as controlling or a lot of anxiety around other people's feelings, controlling other people's feelings, making sure like you're not happy unless everyone's happy. Some of mine where I made people my God. So that meant that everyone around me was more important than me and I needed to make them happy. Otherwise I was a bad Christian. So I had to reframe that people are not my God. And that I had to be able to say no when it was best for me. So I would definitely look into coda.org and you can read more about that. Also, a really great resource is Melanie Beattie, and her book is called Codependent No More. And it's quite eye-opening when you start reading the patterns and characteristics. So like my mother, some of her flavor of codependency looks like, if you don't think like me, there's something wrong with you. And so she sees the world. I think she's changing now from things that I've told her, that she can accept other people's worldview and not be offended. And then, you know, like kind of like the mother hen, she's got to make sure all the chicks, everybody in the room is happy with the wet rag in her hand to make sure everyone's face is clean. And if someone in the room is unhappy, then she can't be happy. It's letting other people's emotions control your emotions and wanting to control their process. So like now in my relationships, I know that any help I offer, I am not attached to the outcome because everybody has their own journey. I can offer support if it's asked for, and I no longer offer it unless they ask me. So it helps me stay safe and them stay safe. Because I don't want to be the overbearing person that's controlling other people's journey on this earth and their life lessons. That's basically it. I'm like, why would I take that away from them? God sent them here to send them to they have their own lessons to learn. Like, I can't force it. I can only drop breadcrumbs if they ask me. You know, if even I'm right, maybe I'm completely wrong. That's the other thing. I want to be right. I gotta let it go. I'm not right for everyone. I don't have the right answer.
Kim, are you finding that journey a process? Because I'm a fixer. You know, I'm the kind that wants to help everybody get, you know, here you need this oil, here you need this, you know, here's my suggestion, whatever. Are you finding it a difficult process to transition to not being the mother hen?
You know, it took me like 6 months to kind of like wrap my head around. At first, I couldn't figure out how to communicate with others without giving my suggestions before. But now it's become more natural where if someone is telling me something, I'll ask them, would you like a suggestion? And they say, yeah, I'd like to hear it. And I think it's actually better received because most people don't have those communication skills to say, I would love you to just listen to me, or I'm open to feedback, or I'm coming here for a solution. I'd say 80% of the time people are not looking for a solution. So you can ask, would you like a suggestion? And they go, it makes them stop because it shows you care about their feelings, that you're not just like, you're connecting with them on a deeper level. You're a deeper listener and you're open to them saying no. And you go, okay. And I think that, you know, there's a lot of doTERRA people that they'll ask people, are you open to natural solutions before they launch into like, oh my God, I'm going to fix your whole life right now because I know better than you. And I'm right, aren't I? I hate it when people tell me stuff that I should be doing before they say like, I have something to tell you. Would you want to listen? Because my whole life, people, you need to go to college. And I'm like, guess what? I'm horrible at being around that many people. I'm a hippie and I just want to go to a weird little certification college. That's what I want to do. Sorry. I'm not sorry. So these positive affirmations, if you look at them, I'll invite you guys to just call them out. If you can you guys read it? Is it way too small? Maybe I can make it bigger. Oh, is that better? Is it
Yeah.
bigger?
Better, it is bigger.
Okay, so I'll start. So it, you know, just whenever you see one that you're like, whoa, I need to say that out loud. Because our voice is the perfect vibration for your own healing. So we take our oils, which are vibrating at a much higher vibration than the human body. We take an oil, like right now I have wild orange in front of me. I can take a drop of that. So now my cells are ready for me to speak and for it to be true. I let serenity flow into my life.
I make decisions confidently for me.
I treat myself with kindness and patience.
I forgive
can
myself for accepting sex when I wanted love.
I can handle criticism with ease.
I feel good about myself for me.
Today, I will put all negativity behind me.
I can express my anger openly, honestly, and appropriately.
I feel appreciated today.
I trust in the serenity my God provides.
I set my boundaries for me. So I'll save this document here, copy, and I'll put it in the chat so that you guys have it. Oops, what did I do? Chat. It wasn't letting me paste it earlier. Let me know if that file opens for you guys, because I saved it in my computer, so hopefully it does. Otherwise, I'll figure it out. So I think
Doesn't
that
open, it doesn't open, Kim.
it doesn't.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so I'll have to probably save it as a document and then let me do that really fast. File, save as, save, replace. Okay, so I do have it saved. I think I just have to email it to you guys. So if you, I'll put my email in the chat and you can email me. And then I will send it to you so you can have it on hand. So I just so appreciate you guys being here and showing up for yourself. And it's like a new, like turning a new page in your life of like, okay, like I'm gonna start looking at things and taking 100% responsibility for your happiness, you know? So no matter what our past shows us, if right now, right here today, I'm responsible. So love you all, you guys. So I'll be thinking of you and I'm probably going to be doing lots of journaling. So I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, Kim.
Welcome. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Kim. Bye.